What's that? You say you want to sit on the floor cross-legged, but you don't know how. No problem. You say you don't know how to sit with your legs falling out asleep. They will fall asleep. That's par for the course. The first week you should be meditating twice a day, every morning for 5 minutes, every evening for 5 minutes. The second week, 10 minutes every morning, 10 minutes every night. You see a pattern here? Third week, 15 minutes twice a day. Fourth week, 20 minutes twice a day. By only increasing the length of meditation once a week, it makes it much easier to condition both your body and your mind. If you just jump in, going from 0 to 60 minutes, your first session, you're going to develop an aversion and some pretty unpleasant attitudes towards the whole process. So please, by all means, do be gentle. Now I'm going to move the camera so you can see my legs. So yes, that sounds like dirty llama, but I assure you it is not. So there's many ways you can sit. Something most of us have not practiced yoga for a decade or so. So if you have a stable, so the first thing I should mention is this. According to my Chinese teachers, you have a sex limb and a neuter limb, or neutral limb. So if you identify as a female, your sex limb is your left limb. If you identify as a male, your sex limb is your right limb. That's what I was taught. So if you have a stable lower back, what you can do is place your sex heel into your crotch, place your neutral heel into your crotch, your sex limb in front. Relax your hips. In time, your knees will find their way to the floor. You don't have to force it. Gravity is a wonderful thing. Another option is what some people call the easy pose. Once again, the neutral limb is on the inside. The sex limb is on, and I should edit myself. The heel, the neutral heel, should be under the sex femur, or the sex thigh bone. The sex heel should be under the neutral femur or thigh bone. Whoops. Time for my meds. Give me a second here. All classy, all the time. Okay, so now you know two sitting positions. A fun position now is what some people call a half lotus. So we start by extending our sex leg and taking our neutral ankle and resting it upon our sex thigh. Now, this is important. Do not force a half lotus pose. Whoops, I forgot the quarter lotus. Let's stick with that. Let's go to that next. So quarter lotus would be sex, shin underneath, neutral shin on top. Your legs are parallel. You see this in some Theravadan statuary. This is sometimes called, or I call it, quarter lotus. Once again, you don't force the knees. The flexibility comes from the hips. Let gravity do the work. It's more cunning than you or I will ever be. Now let's go to half lotus. Sex ankle upon, neutral ankle upon sex thigh. And we're just letting gravity do the work. Once again, it's not flexibility in the knee we want. The knee is just a hinge joint. The flexibility is in the hips, ball joint. And gravity does that over time. in a week or a month or a quarter or a year, your body will give you a signal, and spontaneously you'll want to take it to the next level. Once again, please don't force it. And taking it to the next level simply means taking your sex ankle and placing that upon your neutral 5. This is a full lotus. Now, contrary to popular belief, one position is no more spiritual than the other. As a lama, I've trained myself to sit in full lotus so that I can deal with the superstitions of some students. Some students will only be taught by lamas who can sit in the full lotus position. Crazy, illogical. Welcome to humanity. Okay, now you know how to sit. But while we're at it, while my camera's pointed to my feet, let's talk about the mudra, or the gesture of meditative equipoise, also known as meditative balance. Please place your sex hand palm up in your lap. And once again, your sex hand has nothing to do about right or left, or what hand you write with, or what hand you masturbate with. It's more of a gender thing, has to do with energy. Once again, this isn't absolute. It's just what was taught to me by some of my Chinese teachers. Just passing it on to you for you to test in the crucible of your own body. So, sex hand, palm up in your lap. I found that if your pinky is adjacent to your belly, you're going to tip over. So it's okay to move it out a little bit in front. And you can experiment with it. That's okay. Part of meditation is learning about your body, learning to listen to the messages your body is giving you. You place your neutral hand upon your sex hand and gently touch the thumbs. You know, you don't want it being lax and limp and in your hand. You don't need it to be fully erect like this at all times. You look at photographs or statues of the masters, their hands are relaxed. If you are tense, you've taken a wrong off-ramp on the highway to nirvana. And that's all the physical instruction that you need in this video. May you and yours be healthy and happy.